Alright, when I test these heater cores while they're in the car, heat output, I'm going to put that on warm, put one on vent, put it on fresh or recirc, and I usually run it on high. I get the car warmed up, take it for a ride, and when I'm driving down the road, stick this thing in there, in this vent, and the lowest temperature I've ever read on one of these cars was 90, and the highest 158. That was an unusual car. I had one other car that was a little less than 158, but it was in the 150s, and a few that were around 140. Most of them run between 130 and 140. If they're only running like 120 or less, then I figure something's wrong. The damper that's right above the heater core, if it isn't enclosing off the upper portion of the housing, then all the air isn't forced through the heater core. Some of it will go around the heater core. So you have to check that damper and adjust it so it shuts off that area. I got this Vista Pro for $49 at Rock Auto. That was including shipping and everything. I put it in my contraption here and it tested out at 137 degrees. This core is one I saved out of an old Tercel. It went up to 120 degrees. Okay, we're going to remove the heater core out from under the dashboard of the car. First thing we need to get off is this housing. This housing sits in the car like that. And we get that off first. And then this piece that connects the fan to the heater core housing, that'll come off next. And then we have to take a bunch of crap apart in order to get this thing out. Not a fun job, never look forward to it. You see back in there, it's kind of hard to see, but that hose goes, this rubber that goes through the firewall, and that's where the heater core hose connects, and there's the other one underneath there. And it is possible to replace the heater core from this side if you can cut the firewall and take it out, but that can only be done if the head is removed. So if you're ever doing a head gasket replacement and your heater core needs to be replaced, instead of tearing the dash apart, you can cut an access hole in there. You don't want to cut one too big, just big enough to get the heater core out. If you did decide to cut a hole in the firewall, these are the dimensions. The 6 by 2.625, that's the that's that rectangle there, which goes around the outside of this plastic part. So you'd want to make your cut at the 6.313 by 2.938, and then use that as a locator to where the pipe comes out. The only problem with that is it's kind of hard to get an angle grinder underneath here to cut along here on the firewall, so I had to cut the pipes off. So if you're not going to reuse the old heater core, that would be okay. Here's one that I removed from a car. It tested at 90, but I cleaned it up and flushed it out and stuff after I took it out, and I got it up to 127, which still isn't enough. I wouldn't use it in a car. I'd go minimum 130. So if you did clean it up and reuse it, you just have to change your hoses so that you could hook up to straight pipe instead of the elbows. I'm not sure how that would affect the system, or you could probably splice on some elbows somehow if you had some soldering skills. On the car that we did, of course we cut the hole, and there's those oval slots in the firewall for each of these. And when you patch it up, if you want to reuse those rubber boots that go around here, you'll have to be real careful, cut and fit, so you can get those in. You have to do a little sheet metal work. We riveted the new sheet metal to the firewall, or screwed it with some sheet metal screws, and then caulked it up. The guy that did it was a friend of mine who was a sheet metal worker, and he made it look really nice. Got the rubber boots in all right. First thing I'm going to do is remove the seat. Gives me more room to work. I'm laying in here. Next thing come off will be this. There's a screw right up here, screw down here. Then we'll take this off. Get this off. There's a 10mm under here, 10mm over here. Drop that out. And we'll start taking stuff off over here. Get the seat off. Pop these plastic things off, and then there's a 14mm. I just use my fast work of them. It's 4 of them. 2 in the front, 2 in the back. I remove the glove box. Look at, take this piece off. There's a screw at the top, screw at the bottom. Now I get 10mm here, 10mm over here, and this will come out. I guess I better take that thing off too. Now we're going to get the heater housing out. 10mm over here, 10mm, 10mm, 10mm. There's one up here on the top. Now I'll have to disconnect these cable right here and disconnect. We'll probably take this thing off here. There's 3 screws holding that on. Take that off so we can get up here and get at things a little easier and disconnect the wires. Okay, 3 of these types holding this thing on. Get that out of there. I got room to get out that. Getting at the one up here is kind of tough. I used a ratcheting open end 10mm. Worked pretty good. Now I can get that out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's not coming out very easy, so there's a screw over there. And I don't think there's one in the back, just one on the top and there. I'll get those out and this will come out. Whoever installed that fan put it in incorrectly. I don't know, I doubt that that's why I wasn't getting more than 100 degrees on my temperature. It could have had a lot to do with it, somewhat anyway, because there was air flowing out the vents. Okay, I got it installed correctly now. Get maximum airflow. This is your connector piece. If you had air conditioning, this wouldn't be in there. This connects the fan to the heater core housing. Okay, now what I'm going to do is get a flashlight and look inside there and check the that damper up on the top of the heater core. Make sure it's closing properly. Okay, hopefully you can see what's going on. That flapper damper is not shutting all the way. You can see there's debris on top of the heater core. Okay, usually when that damper up on top of the heater core won't close all the way. But anyway, since I've got debris on top of the heater core, I'm only getting 100 degrees temperature. That could be partly because of the fan not being installed right, but the damper wasn't closing all the way. It's froze up, kinda. It's kind of hard to work back. I'm just going to go ahead and take it all out, fix it. That way I can test the heater core. Yeah, there's 2 screws on each side of this. I'm going to take that off. And then up here there's a screw that holds these 2 ducts in. I'm going to take both these ducts out. I don't know if you can see them very well there. Some light on them. There's a screw right there for one of them, and there's a screw up here somewhere right there for the other one. Yeah, both of those ducts will come right out, and then we'll start taking some of this stuff apart over here. This bracket right here will have to come off. Take that duct out, and then let that one out. Now there's a bolt here, and there's a bolt up here. Take this metal bracket out, and there's one on the other side too. We're going to get that one out, and then this panel right here. There's a screw there, and down here, a few over there. I'll get that out. I'm going to get this bracket off. I took the screw off down here and the one up here. It's a 12 millimeter. I got to get that screw off. You pull the cigarette ashtray out and get that screw out. Alright, I took the 3 screws that hold this mount for the ashtray and get it loose. It'll probably come out of there. I'll get my other hand on it. And freeze that bracket up so it can come out. This just gives me a lot of room to work. Get the bracket off this side here. Next. Okay. There's a screw here. Screw here. Oh no, here. I gotta pop that off. You just pull on it, it'll pop off. And there's a screw up under here. One over here and one up here. Pull this thing off. You kind of careful to get that out of there. We're gonna break it. Add it to the collection. We're gonna get a 12. There's 12 right up in here. I'll get this bracket out. It's gonna give a lot of room to get in there, mess around, disconnect the cables and stuff. I have to take this vent off. I mean, you probably don't have to, but it makes life a lot easier. Just one screw holding it and it drops right out. Push the vent that way and that thing comes out. Add that to the collection. That's what it looks like under there. Got the bolt off down here. There's one right here. Get that one out of there. Okay, I disconnected this cable. You see right there where it attaches, and I gotta pull that plug out right there. It goes to the that's the fan resistor. And in order to get this out, I gotta take some of this loose. There's a screw here, a screw down here. Take this cover off. Yeah, pull those screws, 3 screws out. Get that thing out of the way. And I take these out. I can move that. Let's see what else. There's a vent in here. There's a screw right here. So I can get that free so we can get it disconnected from this big white one back here. Alright, there's 2 cables on the right side. I've disconnected both of those. And now there's 2 cables on the left side, so I got to get up in there and disconnect them from the heater housing. Here's one of the cables. Okay, I only had to disconnect the one cable that attaches right here. The other one goes up through the firewall into the engine compartment. Connects to the valve that controls the water flow to the heater core. So if you wanted to pull this unit out, you'd have to go disconnect that, and then you could take that unit right out of there. To get that white vent free, there's a screw right there at the bottom. And I'm going to take that off. Hopefully I can get that white vent out of there. Okay, if you wiggle that vent around here on top enough, right here, you can get it out through the side here after you've gotten the screw off of that white vent. So you're getting that out of there. Now I can get that white vent out. Okay, I got it out of there. That's what it looks like. Goes up on top here. Add to the collection. I get that white vent out of there. Make some room, moving some stuff around here. And there's the white vent. Now, add that to the collection. You can start to see what's going on in here. There's a couple of 10 millimeters bolting this housing in, so I'm going to find those. I'll let you know where that when I find them. And I got to go drain the water out of the radiator and disconnect the hoses from the heater core at the firewall and pull those rubber boots off where it passes through the firewall. Okay, there's one of the 10 millimeters. And then there's another one up on top there. That's a nut. And I'm sure there's one on the other side somewhere. I'll probably have to disconnect that somehow to that vent. Okay, I got that nut off that stud back there using a long extension, 3/8 reaching from clear out here. Drop this down out of the way, make room. Now there's another one back here. There it is right there. Alright, this bottom piece down here. There's one screw underneath there I took out, and then along here you take a screwdriver and pop that free, and it's down low enough where I think the heater core will slide out from over the top of it. Otherwise you gotta peel back the carpet and take those two vents out, so we'll see what happens. Okay, I got the hoses off at the firewall, remove the boots. I think I'm ready to get that thing out. Oh, I missed the nut. Right there on the top left there of the vent. Gotta get that one out. Problem I'm having is this flapper in here. It won't close, so I can't pull this piece out. So I'm going to try snapping the halves of that off. Well, fighting to wrestle that out down there, I found this inside there. That's why that damper wouldn't shut, I think. Alright, got the snap clips off of that, got half of it out. Here, half. Might allow me to get that thing out of there now. Okay, I finally got it out of there, but what in the hell is keeping this piece from coming off? Oh, I just have to tilt it. I had to pivot back in order to get out. It was a lot easier to get it out if I didn't have to frig around with that thing. Anyway, that's what it looks like back here. It's all removed. I did bend, kind of force these in underneath that piece that finally get it out. You saw me split this in half by popping the clips and taking out the front half of it to get it out. But it will come out without doing that. You can just leave this attached. Just the two ducts that go over these in the car, just they're kind of soft and they don't overlap very far. Just kind of push them down, tuck them in behind, and it'll come out of there. I've done it before. So the piece that attaches here on the bottom. So that piece was on the bottom of the heater. In order to get this out, it just had to hinge back a little bit to get it out. You can see this flapper is busted. I don't know whether it broke with me trying to get it out. Probably. There's that damn piece of paper towel that was stuck in there. So you can see how this is installed. This one is over on that side. This one's kind of in the middle. So you gotta make sure you get in that right spot when you reinstall it. You gotta take this Phillips screw out and pull that thing out of there. You can see how much debris is piled in there. I could have vacuumed all that out, probably in place, but this thing had so many other things going on. It's just as well that I tore it all out. Anyway, I'm going to hook it up in my tester and see how much heat output it produces on it. There's another look at the debris that was collected on that thing. I'm looking down in the fins, and there's a lot of debris in the fins too, so I'm sure the airflow wasn't that great. Here's a heater core that's reasonably clean. There's another one that's reasonably clean. Here's the one I just took out of the car. You see there's a difference. All the things are clogged. So I'm going to take it out and clean it up. Cleaning these, what I usually do is I spray them. This is a mixture of Dax. It's I don't know, like 10% Dax, the rest is water. Dax is for air conditioning. It's made for cleaning this kind of stuff, and you spray it on there and let it sit for 10 minutes. And then I hook this up to a water hose, so I get a strong stream, and I went along each row blowing them out. Make sure you blow the opposite of where the airflow is, so you're blowing things out the opposite of what the air flows. And these are mounted in the car like this, and this is the outlet, so it goes on the inboard side of the car. So the air is going down this way, so you want to flip it over and blow the stuff out that way. And after I've blasted it with the water, then I shake it out, come in and blow it out with the air compressor. Also, if there's any bent or flattened fins, you just take something real thin, like sharpen the end of the screwdriver down so it's small and sharp, and you kind of very carefully work it in and straighten out the fins, get better airflow if they're not flattened out. When I run that heater core, when I was in the car, the best I could get was just over 100 degrees. Here I'm getting about 128. Running pretty steady at a little over 190 on the water. About the best it's going to do, and I'm running for quite a while. Still doesn't reach the best of the heater cores I tested at 138, and then the best ever in-car temperature I got that 287 blue Tercels that I've had. The highest one was 158, and the other one was just over 150. This one's never going to make it to 158. Barely making it to 130. Really working at it. Water temp is up around 190 now, and 195 actually. I'm about ready to call it. Right around 130. That's a good flow there. Didn't take very long to get all the bubbles out of it. So that's the way it's supposed to be mounted in the car. It's over to the right. Best temperature I could get was around 130. Yeah, you gotta make sure you see all around this. Just kind of push this stuff down in there and line the sides of it before I shoved it in there. Make sure it's got a good seal all the way around that heater core. I put some new stuff around the edges of the flappers. Hopefully that'll last a while. Went ahead and put that piece on the bottom. I'm going to try to get it in there. If I can't get these in those vents, I'll bend the crud out of those vents somehow and get them in. I'm sure when you get this in, when this is adjusted so that both of those flappers that are moving are all the way up tight to their spots. So let's make sure that's set right. Okay, I got it in there without having to mess with those vents down there. Just get working it slowly, getting the pipes for the heater to go in. There's some fabric back there and it was kind of hanging up, so I had to see those flaps there. I had to bend those a little bit, loosen them up, so just gently wiggle back and forth until they went through the slits in the fabric and got it in there. So I got to put a screw there, a nut back there, way back there in the corner, right there. And there's one over here, right there. And I think that was it. Those hooked up, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And I start putting all this other stuff back together. Shouldn't take that long. That took some messing around, but I got that white thing in with this upper black one. I think I'll hook up the cables to this thing here. Actually, I want to put that in before I hook up the cables. To install that resistor back in there and hook that plug up. Before you put that resistor in, you might want to inspect the wires, make sure none of them are broken. If one of them's broken, then that speed will not work. Looks like all the wires are intact on this one. After you install that resistor, make sure that wire cage isn't touching the resistor. You need to bend it out of the way so that resistor is floating free in there. Otherwise it'll short out or do something weird maybe. Okay, make sure when you hook that one up, that when that thing goes back, which is on warm, that those dampers are shut, especially that upper one. Okay, I only want to put in this piece, it was in here, and while we're working that one in, I want to get this one in. connects to it up in here. Well, evidently that cable I just hooked up, I didn't let that go all the way out, so I gotta put this cable, it's gotta be underneath this, I guess. I changed it so the cable's underneath it. I didn't have to disconnect the cable, I'll just bend it down a little bit and fish that vent piece in there. Okay, this side's ready to put that piece back in with the fan. Shove that up in there now. Kind of held the fan and that connector piece of the white one together as I worked them up in there. I can bolt them up. Okay, now I gotta hook up that cable. That's your fresh air. Okay, that's fresh air. Recirc. Fresh air, recirc. I'll hook the wires back up for the fan motor. And start putting some of this side back together. Oh, I forgot one screw. Gotta go in there. Okay, I put that glove compartment box in, number 10. Number 10. And then that screw to hold the door buzzer, so I'll let you know when your door is left open, your key's left in the ignition. Okay, put that back on speaker cover. Screw there. Screw down the bottom. Got box done. I just migrate over here and start putting all this stuff back in. There's a screw in the center of the picture, way back in there. I gotta get that back in, probably. Not real important, but and put the ashtray of the grill back in here next. Yeah, I get that back in. Put that ashtray plate in there. 3 screws hold that in, one way in the back, 2 in the front. Okay, I got the screw in the back there. It's in the center of the picture. Screw there for the ashtray mount. Shove the ashtray in. Well, that's pretty much everything for this side. I think I need to go over and put this on now, this metal bracket, bolt it up. Okay, get that bolt in. That's a 12mm. And then that one right there, I tighten that up. 12mm. That gets that bracket installed. Alright, there's a cable to hook up under there. Get that one done. A slight little boo-boo here. This cable needs to go on the other side of that bracket I just put in. I gotta take that bolt out, pull the bracket back, and slip this cable behind it. Okay, that works the top. Controlled. The vent versus defrost. Alright, now I gotta get this vent back in there. Connects to the end of the white one. And then over here. And screws in right there. Not much to it. Okay, I pop this panel back on. The dimmer plug back in there. And I just gotta hook up. I think all that's left is the radio, and that's pretty much it. couple extra bolts here. I don't know what they're for. Let me get that one bolt in for the heater. That's one of these. Okay, I got the radio back in. Put this two screws on each side. And then I can put the seat back in. Looks like I'm done. Don't see any parts laying around anywhere.